It wasn't long ago, and P. Allen Smith was here at Linton's Enchanted Gardens, and he caught up with Mark, and together they viewed some beautiful landscape installations.
Yeah, he asked that we take him out and show him some of our installation projects. We took him to several really amazing, incredible homes that had incredible landscaping, but then also he wanted to see kind of some everyday, normal type of projects, and that's what we're featuring today.
All right, let's catch up with him right now.
Mark, what I love about this is what you see here is a house in the suburbs. It's not a McMansion by any stretch, but what we have here is an emphasis on landscape that takes the charm factor and the curb appeal up.
Well, thank you.
You know, you've got this depth here, and I really like the design. This is one of the Linton designs, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, and as you travel around Michiana, you see a lot of homes that are of this size and
vintage, yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's so important, I think, to get depth, and that's what we see here is there's plenty of depth. You want that combination, that harmony, that balance between evergreens and deciduous plants.
Exactly.
And you've got your evergreens here in the way of different types of junipers, and then of course we're at that time of year with so many things leafing out. Got the spireas coming out, the maples, Japanese maple. Yeah, this is really nice.
Well, thank you. We're going to have a nice show here in just a couple more weeks. We've got about a dozen of the drift roses. It's one of my favorites. They're so low maintenance. They pretty much bloom nonstop throughout the summertime.
They do. Yeah.
All the way up until even when there's snow starting to come down.
We have a lot of them at Moss Mountain Farm. Those who follow the show will see our drift roses there. So, but you know, it's so important to get that combination, I think, of the evergreen and the deciduous. And you've got, I see a boxwood border back here, which is very nice. A backdrop of green, that juxtaposition, I think, is really important.
Well, thanks for noticing. And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that our guests do when they come to select plants at our home and garden center. They always gravitate towards all the color, and they go home, they plant it, they feel really good about it. But here in Michiana, we've got fall, we got winter, we've got early spring, where all those beautiful, colorful things are just bare.
Sure.
And so the evergreens are the bones of the landscape, and we want to make sure that we've got some of those incorporated throughout.
The other thing that's so important, and I try to drive this home to folks who maybe have purchased a new home, maybe it's their first home. Start in the beginning with the end in mind. Get a plan. Sit down with someone who understands the landscape and get the structure, get the framework in place first. I mean, you can go to the garden center for 3 and 5, 6, 7 years and buy up like you're talking about, and you never really get anywhere from the standpoint of a good design. But if you start with a design, each year you can add to it. In a few years, you have something you're really proud of.
That's very good advice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It really pays to find somebody that understands design. You know, pay a fee, get your plan, and then you're off to a good start.
We always start out meeting with our customers, and we like to listen first and always ask them, what are your favorite colors, and want to incorporate.
Yeah, or if you want to cut things and bring them inside, and you know, all the things you want in a garden.
Inside the house as well.
Yeah. You know, when I design a garden, and I was trained as a garden designer in England, is that I start in the house and I actually look out and I go, tell me, where do you spend most of your time? What are the views? What do we want to see? We embrace that. What do we want to screen? We don't want to see our neighbor's Winnebago.
No,
so we cover up those what I call retina irritants.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
And you know, something that a lot of the homes have around here are the well heads that are sticking up out of the ground. Actually, over behind you, to the viewer's left there, that boulder is a fiberglass boulder, and that's covering up one of those necessary evils. There's a wellhead that's sticking up 12 inches there.
Well, I'll be. Well, you couldn't tell it. Yeah, it looks like you've got a little Provrovskia or some kind of perennial coming up. And then, you know, doing some decorative planting around the mailbox. I see you've got some yuccas going here, and obviously you're getting ready to, this is a perfect example of where you can add color.
Exactly.
You build the framework, and then you have these pockets where you add touches of color.
We have some focal points around here. I love the weeping white spruce with the vertical columnar type of look there. We've got a pop of color with our red Japanese lace leaf maple. And then in just a couple more weeks, all these roses are going to be in their glory.
They really will be. And then on the corner here, we have Cousin It.
It does look like Cousin It. That's one of our weeping Alaskan cedars. Very, very dramatic. And I love it because it's so low maintenance. You don't have to prune it. You just let it do its own thing.
Yeah, I love that weeping form. Yeah, it looks like they're constantly depressed, but they're but they are beautiful.
We have some guests come in and say, "I want some of those cemetery trees." Cemetery trees, what's that? Well, that's the weeping ones.
Right, they're crying.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's funny. But I see the roses; they look very healthy. What is the mulch that you're using here?
Yes, we chose the black mulch because if you look at the shingles here, we've got a darker color shingle. We always like to color coordinate that way. And I love the richness of the black mulch. It's dyed, it's not natural that way, but it looks so organic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does add a depth. Very much a depth and richness.
And during the summer times when it gets so hot here, it does a great job of conserving moisture.
Yeah, yeah. No, mulch is essential. It really is. But a great example of what landscape can do to an otherwise modest style house. Yeah. Hey, and it never hurts to have some really fun garden ornament in your landscape. What do you think of this big boy? Great design.
Thank you. It's elk for Elkhart.
Ah, Elkhart, I get it.
You know, adding the extra to ordinary is all about what Mark is about, and I think P. Allen kind of liked the extraordinary, didn't he?
He did. You know, that was a very common home, something you see around Michiana quite often, but because of the spectacular landscaping, it made it extraordinary.
There you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Much more coming up on our program in just a bit. Stay with us. We'll be right back.